in part A. Okay, just copy it down because it is standard form. So it's y equals negative x squared plus 4x minus 5. All right, now it says in part B, find the vertex. So we're going to do x equals negative b over 2 times the a value. So that'll be negative 4 over 2 times negative 1. So that's negative 4 over negative 2, so that's positive 2. Letter C says substitute the x-coordinate into the equation to find the y. So this is going to go negative parenthesis 2 squared plus 4 times 2 minus 5. So what we're actually doing is we're going from standard form to vertex form. And let me show you how simple this is. This is a negative, and then the 2 is squared. So that's negative 4 plus 8 minus 5. Okay, do you understand why it's not positive 4? If I meant for the negative to go to the power, it would have a parenthesis to the 2 power. So this is 4 minus 5 is negative 1. So my vertex is 2 comma negative 1. So now here's the cool part. If I want to put this in vertex form, here's what you have to do. You find A, H, and K and plug them in. And here's the most interesting part that in my experience that I've seen students struggle with is A is already given in standard form. A is the number in front of x squared. So what is A here? It's not 1, it's negative 1. All right, so here's the deal. A is negative 1. The H is the x coordinate of the vertex, and K is the y coordinate. A is the easiest one. You just read it off. It's in front of x squared. You go do x equals negative b over 2a to get the h and then your k value. So watch what we're going to do. Vertex form, and if you remember the marker board practice we started with, I asked you to state standard form, how you get the vertex. I asked you to state vertex form and how you get the vertex. So there's a method to my madness. It was all set to help you. So this is y equals negative 1 times x minus 2 squared minus 1. So let me say this one more time. You just see A is in front of the x squared. You do x equals negative b over 2a to get your vertex. And then you plug it into the vertex form. Okay? All right, let's look at an example. Like, who cares? Who cares about parabolas? What's the point? Well, if you like baseball, you like basketball, you like football, those things can be described by parabolas. If you're interested in any sort of object that you can throw up into the air, we describe them with quadratic equations. So, on the next slide, it says if an object projected into the air, given an initial upward velocity v, continues with no additional force acting on it, h equals negative 16t squared plus, that's the velocity times the time, plus c, gives the approximate height above the ground. So in example 4, it says, suppose a Go Bears t-shirt was launched. Have you ever seen those t-shirt shooter things? Yeah. Is launched at the state semifinal basketball game last winter, is modeled by h equals negative 16t squared plus 64t plus 35. All right, without even sketching it, I know this opens down, right? because of the negative 16t squared. It's going to open down. It says, and then I have time, comma, height. See, you know how we always do x, comma, y? In place of my x's, it's t for time. And h is going to be the height, and it's in the y spot. So I want you to stop and think. So, like, the whole reason why we do math is to do real-world things. And I know in high school, a lot of times they're fabricated problems, but it's so that when you get to college or you get out to the real world, you can handle the real stuff because we've practiced on nicer numbers. So in letter A, it says, how long will it take? How long? Is that a T for time or H for height? How long? That's a T, okay? That's a T. How long is the T? How long does it take the t-shirt to reach the maximum height? On my graph, what do we call the point that's the maximum? It has a special name. The vertex, okay? This is the vertex. And the vertex is a T, comma, H. Guess what? We know how to find a vertex. It's negative b over 2a when it's in standard form. So I'm going to go negative 64 over 2 times negative 16. So you're going to want a calculator if you don't already have yours out. So that's negative 64 over negative 32, so that's 2. Now let's reread the problem because I know it's time, but usually time starts in seconds, and I don't see it, so it is seconds. So, or is it? Yeah, this is seconds. So this would be t equals 2 seconds. How far above? Oh, this is a good question. It says, so I want to know the maximum height. So this is the h value when t is 2 seconds. So let me give you a moment to figure this one out. Okay, so if you have a calculator, in a moment, I'm going to pass the stapler around because our machine wasn't stapling. Okay, what did you guys get? You got 98. I got 99. I got 99. Check that again, okay? Check that again. No. Safe, that's yours. It just needs to get stable. All right, when you're ready, flip the page, and I want you to find the error, okay? Flip the page. And again, what I'm passing out to you is your homework. I need to pass the stapler around for the staple. All right, last one. Okay, last one. See if you can find the mistake. If you can, correct it. That's yours. It's 2 pages. All right, I'm going to pass the stapler and staple the 2 pages for the homework together. All right, you guys, what's the mistake in example 5? Yeah, Josh?
Should it be a positive 4?
Yes. In the top, it should be negative 4, which becomes a positive 4 over 4, which is 1. So the vertex, if I go and plug in a positive 1, I get 2 minus 4, that's negative 2 minus 3 is negative negative 5. So the correct answer for the vertex should be 1, comma, negative 5.